We're not getting Kalos remakes. We're not going to X2, Y2, or Pokemon Z with the whole Zygarde new forms. We're going straight to 7th generation with Pokemon Sun and Moon. The proof for this is in the Pokemon Direct. We have all the beginnings of each generation. You'll have red, blue, and then they go into gold, silver, ruby, sapphire, and so on. They didn't include yellow, they didn't include crystal. So I'm saying that Sun and Moon are the beginning of Generation 7. So I'm sorry, I don't think we're actually going to go back to Kalos. But this is good in a way. We're actually going to be getting new starters and new mascot legends. I wonder, because we already have a Sun and Moon Pokemon being Solrock and Lunatone, are those going to be spiked up to legendary status just for this region? I really doubt that. I'm going to be doing a top 5 list on what I want to see in these new games, but I'm going to bring back my previous list as I did before with normal types, top 5 Pokemon. So in honor of a new generation, I'm going to give you the age-old question. Do you want grass, fire, or water? Leave the type that you always choose down in the comments below, and let's get on to what I want to see in this next generation. Number 5. Let's go back to Generation 1. One thing everyone loved was Pikachu would follow you. It was just like the anime where the main character Ash would always have his trusty Pikachu on his shoulder. It was really unfortunate that it did not return in Generation 2 or Generation 3. But in Generation 4, due to the changes in the hardware, they were actually able to have each Pokemon, shiny and non-shiny, be seen behind you and you could interact with it. It was really sad that they never actually implemented this mechanic ever again, but if they can bring it back in Pokemon Sun and Moon, everyone would love it. This game's been in development for about 3 years, or even more. We just know that it's been 3 years between Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire's release. They might be implementing this because they have 700 plus times 2 for the shinies to have 3D sprites for to follow you. Number 4. The most recent generation, Gen 6, we had character customization. It was amazing. It actually fit with the theme of France and everything, and everyone was able to express themselves by creating unique clothing options. Everyone was not just the same arbitrary character, but you were able to change your hair color, your skin tone, you were able to choose clothes, and you were able to change them up as much as you want. When Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire came out, we weren't able to have character customization. I believe this had to do with sticking to the Gen 3 mechanics, and with that, everyone was the same character. Many people are worried that character customization may not return, but we can still hope and pray that Game Freak can keep this mechanic throughout the rest of the generations. Number 3. Many people loved gold and silver because you were actually able to go through both the Johto region and the Kanto region. Many people speculate that Kalos isn't a full-fledged region. There are many mysteries that we do not understand. And if in these new games we were actually able to go to that region as well, it would sum up so many things. Like, why did they bring up the Zygardes? You have so many forms of them now. You have 10%, 50%, and even 100%. I doubt that the Pokemon Company is only going to leave them in the anime. They have to bring them into the games because they look amazing. Number 2. Increase the difficulty. More recently, Pokemon has been slipping in the difficulty aspect. They've been holding your hand and making the games easier. I understand this has to do with the demographic being for 10-year-olds, but many people want these games to be challenging. Some examples of them making the games easier is how you can have the experience share for all the Pokemon in your party, and also when you need to go somewhere in the game, they'll usually have an NPC just take you to that location. You don't have to worry about walking or surfing or exploring the region. They just take you there. Many people take it upon themselves to make the game challenging, so they introduced Nuzlocks. These are fan-made rules to make these easy Pokemon games much more challenging and fun. I'm not saying that they should make these Nuzlocks in the actual game, but they should have a challenge mode like they did in Generation 5 to make the games harder and amazing to play for a second run. Number 1. Turn this franchise into an MMO. Game Freak has announced Pokemon Go to be released sometime this year. This will make Pokemon come to the real world, and everyone who has a smartphone will be able to join in on a Pokemon adventure. Given that Pokemon Sun and Moon are actually coming out in the same year as Pokemon Go, they should integrate these two games together. You should be able to trade from Pokemon Go to Pokemon Sun and Moon and be able to see other characters who are playing Pokemon Go or Pokemon Sun and Moon on your 3DS game. Instead of you being the only trainer inside the Pokemon world with everyone else being NPCs, you'll be able to see your best friend or even your rivals be in your Pokemon game running around with you, and you'll be able to trade and battle in that game right then and there on your 3DS. This connection between Pokemon Sun and Moon to Pokemon Go may not be so hidden. Pokemon Go is meant to have Pokemon appear on the Earth, and the new main series games are based off of the Sun and Moon. This makes me think that in Pokemon Sun and Moon, or the sequels, we will have full Pokemon Go interaction. Thanks for watching this video about what I want to see in the next games. If you have any ideas about what you want in Pokemon Sun and Moon, and even in Pokemon Go, leave them down in the comments below. If you want to see more content by me, click that sub button and maybe even leave a like or a dislike if you didn't really like it. So this is ExHappyFace signing out, and don't forget to keep on smiling.